Okay, guys, so continuing my extended breakdown and discussion and speculation on the recent Q&A we got on TFW with Mark Meyer, one of the lead designers at Transformers for Hasbro. I wanted to talk about 3 question and answers that we got here that I just wanted to talk about a little bit more extensively than I did in that original video, because there was like 50 questions I had to go through and the video was super long and I didn't really have enough time to go in depth with everything like I wanted to. So I'm probably going to do a couple more videos after this, but we'll see how things go in terms of news and whatever else happens over the next few weeks. So this first one here, I want to read and I'll talk with you guys about it. So question, if you made TFA Omega Supreme, is he more likely to be a Titan or a HasLab? Any answers with, if I were to share my opinion, I would prefer a Titan. I did have a plan for a partial off the arc somewhere, but I think it wouldn't be accurate enough to satisfy fans, so he would have to be an all-new mold. So yeah, I mean, I don't think this would have been a good idea. I think him and Hasbro ultimately made the right choice. There's been speculation and like certain rumors, I guess, over the last like 2 years, maybe, that we are getting an Omega Supreme from Transformers Animated. He may be a Titan class or a HasLab. I hope to God he's not a HasLab. I'm sick of these HasLab campaigns for Transformers and their stupid QC issues and spending all this money on a figure, and it just seems ridiculous at this point to crowdfund a release from a multi-billion-dollar company and you have all these QC issues on a specialty release that isn't even a mainline figure and they're making less copies of. It just makes no sense to me. So hopefully this is a Titan class and it's an all-new mold and not a retool of that crappy Kingdom Arc figure from a few years ago, like what they seemingly were originally going to do, which would have been ridiculous to me. They made the right call. That would have not have satisfied fans, because Omega Supreme is such a pinnacle character design from Transformers Animated, and just a pinnacle character in general. Like, there's so many key stuff from him within that show that if you guys were to just give him a retool of a crappy G1 figure, that would have been absolutely detrimental to that figure's release. Like, I bet you nobody would have bought it. And going off of that arc mold, I honestly don't know how accurate it would have been to begin with, especially the robot mode. I mean, the vehicle mode, you could have gotten away with certain things, but for the robot mode, you got to do some extensive remolding for that to actually look good and look somewhat accurate to what that design was in animated. And I'm willing to bet that whatever the final product was behind the scenes, it did not look good. And this is why Mark gave the answer that he gave, and that didn't release, which I am so happy it didn't, because y'all know me on this channel. I would have made a video or two talking about how controversial it is and how terrible of a decision Hasbro made here. So yeah, I'm glad they didn't do this. And the next one that I want to talk about here is, so TFW asks, is Lugnut in consideration since he won the HOF? And if so, what size class would he be? By the way, HOF is Hall of Fame, which he did win a couple years ago. And Mark answers with, my gut guides me. It tells me that a leader class scale Lugnut would accomplish what's needed for the character. Again, another thing that I think would be an absolute terrible idea. He gave a lot of good answers in this interview, but I gotta be honest with you guys, I wouldn't say a lot of answers, but there's a few here and there that really made me scratch my head, and this is one of them. And I covered the other one in yesterday's video about him basically saying no to doing Energon and Beast Machines updates going forward. And this one is just another head scratcher. Like, a leader class Lugnut, I mean, that could be okay if it's like around the same size and quality as like the 86 Dinobots. But even still, Lugnut needs a bit more oomph to him. He needs like a lot more ratchet joints, a lot more sturdier plastic, and less hollowness. He needs his big, huge axe, like a mace thingy. He needs those missiles. He needs his chest cannons to be articulated. It would be nice if those chest cannons are articulated like the HasLab Omega Prime arm cannons, like they could rotate around, but then the barrels themselves can angle up and down. That would be crazy on a new Lugnut figure. I would love that. He needs finger articulation. He needs good head articulation due to his design. Like, it's going to be a bit tricky to do at leader class. There would be a lot more wiggle room with his articulation if he was a $90 commander. He needs toe articulation, good ankle pivot, maybe an ab crunch, waist swivel, deeper than 90 degrees of bend for the knees and elbows. So, like, Lugnut just needs to be decked out as much as possible. And nowadays, as like sad it is to say, like, a leader class just does not cut it for like the expectations that ultimately we all basically have for Lugnut. And I just don't think a modern day leader would be good enough. He would be, I think that would be a mid figure, if you ask me. I do not think he would be anything spectacular. I don't think he would be bad. I just think he would be middle road. But I don't know. We just gotta wait and see on how they do Lugnut. Obviously, he's going to be getting a figure at some point soon. I didn't think we would be waiting this long. I thought he would be either a commander class or a leader class that would have dropped by now. But hey, I mean, I guess I'll take Magmatron and Motormaster and whatever else. But, you know, I'm just hoping whenever they do drop Lugnut, he's an actual good figure, because we've been waiting and begging Hasbro for a new Lugnut from Animated specifically for so long now, well over a decade. We got that Voyager class in Hunt for the Decepticons, which was decent, but again, he was too small, similar to the original animated Voyager in 2008 being way too small. And he was a G1-ified design to the point where the colors were different, and he was more so like IDW based, if I remember correctly. So getting one that's a bit more faithful to the animated color scheme and design, even though it's probably still going to be a bit G1-ified like what we've gotten recently with the animated stuff, I just hope that it's as good as it can be, especially in modern times. Like, I know Hasbro can knock it out of the park with a Lugnut if they try and put him at commander. I just don't think leader class would cut a lot of what we're looking for with this guy. And the last one that I want to cover in this video is, so TFW asks, would you want to do a G1-ified movie character like Blackout in the main line? And Mark answers with yes, all caps and exclamation marks. So he seemed to be pretty hyped about this answer. I like the idea of getting G1-ified Bayverse stuff, but I don't know, it's tricky in terms of my thought process on this. I know some of you guys are going to agree with me, some of you aren't, which is totally fine. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. But I don't know, I feel like they're wasting slots in the Generations line doing these constant G1-ified versions of character designs from other iterations of the franchise that don't have super rigid blocks to their designs, like Bayverse, Prime, Animated, and whatever else. And it's kind of tricky to me, because I do think there's a lot of creativity and coolness that can be unlocked within modern day lines with G1-ified versions of, say, Bayverse characters or Prime, Animated, or whatever. You're taking up slots that could have been used for, you know, money and resources for actual accurate versions of these, either redone or just made in general within Studio Series or Generations or whatever the case is. Like, over the last couple years, I think we've wasted a lot of slots. Like, we could have had an accurate update for Prime Bulkhead, RC, Knockout, Animated Prowl, Bumblebee, Optimus, Motormaster, Wasp by now that aren't G1-ified, and, you know, we're still waiting for those accurate redos, because those original figures, they're cool, yeah, but the articulation is a bit outdated. They're pretty expensive on the aftermarket nowadays, so anybody who wants to backtrack, you're looking at spending a pretty penny and giving up your kidney while you're at it, trying to get those figures, so good luck with that. As much as I would like to see a G1-ified Blackout, and that's like one of the main wants and stuff I see online about, you know, when people bring up the point of, can we get G1ified Bayverse characters in the modern lines? And like, people bring up Blackout probably the most out of any character. Him and Barricade, I'd say. Again, as much as I think that would be cool, like, that could have went to a leader class slot of, say, Strika or Obsidian or Beast Wars Rampage or something. Like, it could have gone to so many other characters that frankly need updates way more than another Bayverse Blackout figure. You know, I just hope that if this does happen at some point soon, which it probably will. I mean, it's been asked about a lot the last few years since we've been getting G1ified stuff. I just hope that it's done right and it doesn't take up a ton of slots going forward. And if you ask me, I just don't really care about this at this point. We're still missing so many characters from all these different eras of Transformers that aren't G1ified, quote-unquote, versions of the characters. So, I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see on how Hasbro handles this in the next few years, if they do indeed go forward with this idea. But yeah, guys, let me know down in the comments below. How do y'all feel about these questions and answers that I covered in this video? And yeah, thank y'all for watching this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.